Have you ever wondered if women are completely crazy or if you just don't understand them? Women may not make logical sense, but it's still possible for us to understand the emotional system they run on. The trick is to find a way to relate to this foreign system from reference points that we already understand. As men, we have to evolve past this all women are just crazy theory that we like to fall back on every time we don't understand their actions. So let's start from a reference point that we already understand as men. Men work in terms of logical checkpoints. As an example, we'll look at how men decide to loan money to friends. Steve loans Bill $50, and Bill pays the money back on time with zero hassle. A month later, Bill asks Steve if he can borrow $80, and Steve has plenty of cash to easily accommodate him. Every guy hearing this knows that Steve loans Bill the money. It's just logical. If Steve can loan Bill $50 with no hassle, he has passed that logical checkpoint in their relationship, and he's cleared for more credit. This logical checkpoint can be defined simply as if I loan you money and you pay it back, I can loan you more money. Women operate under a completely different set of rules. Women work in terms of emotional zones. They float in and out of these zones quickly and easily, and they do it in a non-logical, non-linear way. If you know which emotional zone a woman is in, you know how she'll respond. This system, when simplified, is I did it because I felt that way at the time, and I'll do it again when I feel that way again. Here's the process when a woman loans someone money. Sally is in a good mood, and she loans Becky $50 because Becky is a friend that she has a strong connection with. Becky never pays the money back. After 2 weeks, Sally calls up Becky. What Becky doesn't know is that Sally is now in a bad mood because she just broke up with her boyfriend. Therefore, Sally starts yelling at Becky about the money she hasn't paid back. In reality, Sally is just yelling at Becky as an emotional outlet to help her deal with the negative emotions of her recent breakup. If during this call Becky asks for more money, the answer will be no. 2 days later, Becky calls Sally because she just found out that Sally had broken up with her boyfriend. Girls like to talk on the phone to explore and share in the emotions of each other's life drama. After Sally cries her guts out, she tells Becky how lucky she is to have a good friend. At the end of that call, Becky, who still owes Sally $50, asks to borrow another $80, and Sally agrees. This action makes zero logical sense to a guy and is a bad decision, but because women do what they feel in the moment, we can at least understand how the female system gave this result. A guy looks at previous history from a logical point of view and tends to make logical choices. He operates in a world of logical checkpoints. A woman tends to ignore previous logical history and goes with how she feels in the moment. She operates in a world of emotional zones. For example, a woman going into a good mood will be agreeable and accommodating. A woman going into a bad mood will be disagreeable and combative. In either case, her choices have nothing to do with logic. If you ask a very upset woman during a heated argument if she wants $5, she will become more angry rather than giving the logical answer of yes. Try this sometime. It's ridiculous. Now let's look at how the two systems can conflict, using a second date as an example. Steve and Sally are about to go on their second date. We ask each of them separately what they think the chances are of having sex at the end of that date. Both of them give us the same answer. They both tell us that they had a great first date and it's very likely. What 99.99% of men fail to see, however, is that even though they gave the same answer, they arrived at that answer in two totally different ways. Steve came to this conclusion using logical checkpoints. At the end of their last date, Steve made it to third base. Logically, if she went that far last time, when she sees him again, sex is the next thing to happen. It's a logical progression, just like when Bill borrowed $50 from him. Sally came to this conclusion because of the emotional zone she was in when we asked the question. It was as simple as feeling positive emotions for Steve and wanting more. Just like with Becky, if she feels that way again, she will act that way again and tend to take it a bit further to intensify that feeling. For most guys, this second date would be a crapshoot. Most guys, based off of their logic, would make the move for sex, and it would either happen or not. If they score, the guy thinks he was correct and his logic was sound. If he doesn't score, he still thinks his logic was sound and just labels the girl as crazy or having issues. He never truly understands what's going on. Steve is not most guys. He is in the 1% of the 1% who actually knows what's going on. Steve is a true alpha male. He uses his default mode of logical checkpoints with his friends and at work, but he understands the emotional zones women operate under, and because of this, knows that he must completely throw logic out of the window on his date. He knows that Sally will sleep with him if and when she feels like sleeping with him. Most guys have heard the saying, you have to get the woman into the mood. Steve is one of the few guys who actually understands what this means. It's not what she thinks she wants to do. It's what she feels like she wants to do. And Steve is very good at getting girls to feel like doing it. Steve is a master seducer. He plays the game using only two rules. The first is that women ignore logic because they make decisions based off of whatever emotional zone they find themselves in at that moment. The second is that women can be moved in and out of different emotional zones fairly easily. Thus, to get a girl to respond a certain way, you must make her feel a certain way first. When things go less than perfect, he never takes personal responsibility for the bad mood of the girl he just started talking to. He knows that if a girl is bitchy, she will be ready to be guided into a new mood soon enough. He just keeps on smiling, unaffected by her temporary state, waiting for her to fall into his happy mood. His power is in being able to hold his good mood long enough that it becomes contagious to her. Not only is this amazing, but it happens like clockwork. It's like he's bulletproof. You may think that this kind of success would leave Steve with a huge ego, but you would be wrong. Compliment him on how he picked up a girl, and you will always get the same response. He will tell you that he didn't do anything special. It's just that she was in a good mood and almost anything would have worked. Like I said, Steve truly understands the game.